Hello, friends, and welcome to Pathologic Volume 12, Episode 2. It's Supersized Day. And once a week, if you are new here, we solve a larger version of a puzzle we have previously seen on the channel. Today it is Islands, and we will get a reminder of the rules.
In an Islands puzzle, we will shade a single group of orthogonally connected cells in each region. Orthogonally connected means that we can travel from any one cell in the group to any other cell in the group by going through the edges of cells. Diagonal is not sufficient. Shaded groups may not share a bold border, so these borders that separate the regions here, we can't have both sides of the border ever shaded. Regions with numbers must contain the indicated amount of shaded cells. So this 5 tells us that the single group of orthogonally connected cells, because there's only one, will be 5 large. And you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is the case for that one. Each region must contain at least one shaded cell, and no 2 adjacent regions may contain the same number of shaded cells. So as soon as we fill this region with a single cell island, we know that the 2 that it touches may not also have a single cell island anywhere inside them. Those are the rules of islands, so it's time to solve a puzzle.
This Supersized Islands puzzle was set by Shye. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 given, so what can that tell us? Well, big and little numbers, always our friends, and I see that these are all 6 cell regions, which means that this 6 is determined. We know that neighboring cells are not shaded, which means that this 5 is suddenly determined as well. Do the same thing here. And that doesn't determine the 4, but it does get us started. We need 4 of these 5 shaded. They have to be contiguous, so this is going to be among them. This region only has 1 cell candidate left, and every region has to have something shaded. So that's shaded, which means the 4 is done. It's like that. We get ourselves a couple regions with only a single candidate cell. Shade those in. And now we probably need to start thinking about the adjacent regions rule. So, up here, I think there's some stuff we can do here for sure, but let's start up here because it's a little easier. Next to this region, we don't know where the 1 shaded cell goes, but we do know that adjacent regions don't have 1 cell shaded. So this one must have 2 shaded. This one can't have 1 shaded nor 2 shaded, so it's 3. And this one can't have 1, 2, or 3, so it is 4. Which is enough to give us the shaded cell for the 1 region. It's enough to tell us what's going on with this 3 region, because if we shaded this one, we couldn't connect. So it's these 3. And then this region, this big region, can't be a 1 region because it's adjacent to a 1 region. So these solo cells are not there. It actually can't be a 1, 2, or 3. It's at least a 4, but the remaining space still is pretty big. We do, I see, have a couple 1 by 1 regions, and there's only one way we can shade those. So let's fill those in. That puts this 1 next to this big region. Actually, this 1 is also next to this big region. So this is not a 1. So same as this big one over here, these become unshaded. This can only be that cell shaded. This 1 region is next to this one, so this is not a 1. Same deal here. We've got a 1 here, so not a 1 here. We are getting to the point where that won't work anymore. Though here, this is interesting. This can't be a 1 region. It's a 2 or a 3. Regardless, this one becomes shaded, which means that's unshaded, which makes this a 1 region. Whichever one is shaded here, this can't be a 1 region. It's got to be at least a 2. So it's going to be the other 2 so it's going to include that one as well. That's an interesting pattern, which makes that unshaded, which makes this a 1 region as well. Interesting to see that without actually knowing which side these get shaded on. Here we have not a 1, a 2, not a 2. This is a 3 or a 4. Do we know what this is? A 1 next to a 2 and a 3. This is a 1, so this one's not a 1, so that's unshaded. This is not a 1, nor a 2, nor a 3. But that's still too many degrees of freedom there. Can we do the same thing here we did over here somehow? This 1 makes this not a 1, is at least a 2. That's shaded. So that's not shaded. So this is a 1. Yeah, exactly the same pattern we had over here. Whichever one it is, this is going to have to shade the other 2, which will include that one, making this one also a 1. But it would really be nice to know which direction that went. Any others? This one is just bothering me because I don't see how I would know. This 2 is going to include that cell. Can do that at least. And we said this region is not a 1, nor a 2, nor a 3. So it's a 4 or a 5, which will always include those cells. And that cell, which tells us how the 2 goes, which tells us how the 1 goes. Great. This region can't be a 1 or a 2. It is a 3. That means this region is going to complete its 4 by doing that. So now this big one is not a 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's at least a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So it's going to include those 4 and 1 or both of these, depending on whether it's a 5 or a 6. But that's good because then we can unshade these, and that'll resolve this pattern. So that's got to be shaded. So these 2 must be shaded. So this one must be shaded. So these 2 must be shaded. And that all just kind of fell into place. That makes this, since this became unshaded, this 5 has to come over here. This region's got to be a 2, can't be a 1. Forces that one. This one is not a 1. So it becomes a 2. This is neither a 1 nor a 2, so we fill in all 3. Then the whole left side, here we are next to a 1, and we only have 2 left, so those are both shaded. This sees a 1, a 2, and a 3. This is a 4 or 5, which will include that one. This big region is still next to a shaded, a single, so that's not shaded. This has to be not a 1, not a 2, 3, 4, 5 are all on the table, I think, but all of them include that cell, which means that this is shaded, that's shaded, that's shaded, that's shaded. Same cascade we saw over there. which unshades this one, which means this is, since it's not a 1 or a 2, it's these 3. This can't be a 1 or a 2 or a 3, and there's only one option left. It's 4, forcing that to be shaded, forcing these 2 to be shaded. This is next to a 1 and a 2, so all 3 of those must be shaded. And that is how we solve a supersized islands.